Welcome back on this Monday as we continue to look at the book of Leviticus. Today is the one day we are focusing on one chapter. It is chapter 16, and its focus is on the Day of Atonement. Remember what has happened just recently, what we talked about on Friday, of how two of Aaron's sons died because, as it said, they brought unauthorized fire into the holy place. Not really sure what exactly that meant, other than that they disobeyed God. There was disobedience that resulted in death. And now the Lord, as we see in this passage, is establishing the Day of Atonement, that day set aside once a year when the Lord when they would offer sacrifices in the right way to the Lord to take away the sins of all people. Let's begin. Chapter 16, verse 1. The Lord spoke to Moses after the death of the two sons of Aaron, when they drew near before the Lord and died. And the Lord said to Moses, "Tell Aaron your brother not to come at any time into the holy place inside the veil, before the mercy seat that is on the ark, so that he may not die. For I will appear in a cloud over the mercy seat. But in this way Aaron shall come into the holy place, a bull from the herd for a sin offering, and a ram for the burnt offering. He shall put on the holy linen coat, and shall have the linen undergarment on his body, and he shall tie the linen sash around his waist, and wear the linen turban. These are the holy garments. He shall bathe his body in water, and then put them on. And he shall take from the congregation of the people of Israel 2 male goats as a sin offering, and 1 ram for a burnt offering. Aaron shall offer the bull as a sin offering for himself, and make atonement for himself and for his house. Then he shall take the goats and set them before the Lord at the entrance of the tent of meeting. And Aaron shall cast lots over the 2 goats, 1 lot for the Lord and the other lot for Azazel. And Aaron shall present the goat on which the lot fell for the Lord, and use it as a sin offering. But the goat on which the lot fell for Azazel shall be presented alive before the Lord to make atonement over it, that it may be sent away into the wilderness of Azazel. We'll get to that whole Azazel part in a bit. First of all, this is instructions on how to proceed on this Day of Atonement to take away the sin of Aaron's sons and the sins of all the people of God for their disobedience. Now let's get to the Azazel, this whole idea of what that is. And in some ways, the word is just transliterated, taken from the Hebrew way it was pronounced and written in English. And in doing so, they did this because they really don't know what this word means. This word has a couple different thoughts. They listed 4 in the commentary I was reading. The most logical one is taking the sense that it takes from the Septuagint, which is a Greek translation of the Hebrew, and there it talks about it as the departing goat, the goat that would be sent away. Other later traditions say that it is going to, that Azazel is a form of another word for a false god, a kind of a demon god, an anti-god, or maybe even Satan himself. But there is nothing in the translation, in the word itself, that makes anyone think that that is what it is, or that makes many people think that's what it is. The word is unknown, and unfortunately that causes some confusion. We wish we know what it meant, but it was the goat that is being sent off, the scapegoat, which is where we get the phrase scapegoat in English. This scapegoat would be how God would take away the sins of the people. And as we read through this, we're going to skip down to verse 20. 11 and 15, from 11, I should say, all the way to 19, it describes the sacrifices of making for the bull and then the one goat that is a sin offering and what they were to do. But let's pick it up with verse 20. And when he has made an end of atoning for the holy place and the tent of meeting and the altar, he shall present the live goat, and Aaron shall lay both his hands on the head of the live goat and confess over it all the iniquities of the people of Israel and all their transgressions, all their sins. And he shall put them on the head of the goat and send it away into the wilderness by the hand of a man who is in readiness. The goat shall bear all their iniquities on itself to a remote area, and he shall let the goat go free in the wilderness. The scapegoat was, again, to take away the sins of the people, have it placed on it, and then taken off into the wilderness and left to wander and to die with the sins of the people on it. This is an interesting part. We think of different places sheep and goats are mentioned. Often in the Old Testament, they're mingled together. But remember in Jesus' parable of the end times, when he will separate the sheep from the goats, the sheep will go to everlasting life. The goats will go to everlasting damnation. That understanding, in many ways, I think, comes from this idea of the scapegoat. The goat nowadays can be a symbol for the Satanist, a symbol for Satan himself. Why? Because of the sin that was placed upon this goat. We're going to continue with the last verse. And this shall be a statute forever for you, that atonement may be made for the people of Israel once in the year because of all their sins. And Aaron did as the Lord commanded. So if this was a statute forever, why don't we practice that now? Because we do. It's not when it was told to happen then, but really the New Testament describes Jesus as being the lamb that was offered, maybe even our scapegoat, to take our sins upon himself and give us forgiveness and freedom, which he did on Good Friday. All our sins are taken away by Christ, and we are restored. We are made right with God through that one work. I hope this makes sense a little bit to you. This Day of Atonement, or Yom Kippur, as it is known today in Judaism, that holy day, a day of forgiveness and grace that God showed to us through Jesus Christ. Come back tomorrow. We'll continue looking at verses 17 through 19. We'll see you then. God bless.